Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of our Terraria 1.2 Let's Play. This is episode 61 and we are back in our more traditional, rightful home, the one that we've kind of stuck with there for the majority of the Let's Play so far. And today is going to be a day of going over things that have changed and perhaps getting ready for some big transitions that are still to come. First thing that I want to go over is, well, I've made a few changes to the house. I don't know if you've noticed them yet, but if you look very carefully, you'll notice there is another chest on each one of the rows of our inventory archive. In fact, it actually sticks out a little bit from our mushroom biome, the shroom farm at the base of the house. I don't know if I care enough to really go ahead and adjust all the rest of these, but I did need some more inventory space, so I went ahead and adjusted those and made a little bit more room. I haven't actually moved everything over quite yet, but I will be sorting through all the stuff, in the days to come as I have extra time between sessions. Another thing that I changed as we go down here is I've added a few more rows of mushrooms. I wanted to increase the rate with which my mushroom production was going at, and, that seemed like the best way to do it, just add a few more rows. And so far, it's been working out pretty well. I've been getting something like 70 per run instead of like 35, so yeah, kind of makes sense, I suppose. Other things we've got, well, there's a big one at the top of the house, which I'm kind of excited to show you. I've made the, what are we calling this, the Hall of Heroes or something. It's basically a showroom for all my suits of armor that I've been building this whole time. So here it is, everything I've made so far. I took all the time to collect all these materials because I wanted to have a linear sequence of all of the suits of armor as they went from, wood to copper, tin, iron, so far, or lead, then iron, so on and so forth down the line. There are a few that are missing things. You can see they don't have torches over them. This one here is like ancient something armor. I gotta get the chest piece and the legs for that, and then the old cobalt armor is missing the headpiece, yeah, that's the old one. Then going back up, there's, well, this whole row is actually totally done. And then I need to make a second set of the same one I'm wearing to put here, I suppose, and then any other alternate armors and costumes I'm thinking I'll put up here, or maybe I'll just start another row and build it onto the top. But I just thought this was a cool thing to do. It is kind of a pain in the butt if I need to switch between armors, because right now all of them are on display. So if I want to use one for something, well, I'm going to have to come get it off of here. So, well, it's not the most easy thing to do, and it's certainly not, accessible, but at least it's cool to look at, so that's something, right? Next thing, I want to show you guys the Extractinator, because I'd actually never done this before for whatever reason. It's a really simple little thing. I don't know why I thought it was going to be complicated, but basically you just take stuff like slush blocks, pick them up, and, oh, can I not do this now that I have pause inventory set on? I don't know. Hang on. Let's see if we can figure this out. I might actually have to change an option to be able to interact with this object. That would be a little depressing, wouldn't it? Maybe, oh no, I can probably just, yeah, I just drop it on it. So I take the silt, or the, not silt, but in this case, slush blocks, put them on, get them ready to go, and just left-click on the machine, and it drops little bits of ore basically almost every time I do something. So if I want to, oh no, it's actually using 2 per. So I can actually just hold down the button and collect tons of stuff. It's pretty easy. You get lots of jewels, you get lots of cool ore from it, so I would imagine a really easy thing to do when you're first starting out the game. Find that snow biome as soon as you can, rush in there, find a stack of slush, as much as you can get, really, and just go nuts. And, well, you gotta get an Extractinator too, which I think only comes from a chest. So if you get those two things worked out, or if you can bring one from another world, you have an easy way to start out with a pretty big advantage. As you can see, it's still not over. There's still more stuff happening here. There is also one thing that can drop from this, that is a little special. I've got some amber here, and beyond the amber, if I go back down to my chests down here, well, if the door opens, there we go, you'll actually have a small chance at getting this to drop, which is an amber mosquito, which I actually haven't summoned yet, so I kind of wanted to see what this looked like. It causes a tiny little dinosaur to spawn, and he's kind of adorable. So I'm glad I found him. I'm not sure what the drop rate is on him, but I felt pretty lucky when I found him. So there's another reason you might want to go and mill through all of your silt and junk like that. Let's put him back, though, because I don't really want a pet with me right now. Although it is kind of cool since I can have this guy, the floating light source as well as the dino with me if I want. The other thing I wanted to do, and this is not going to be for today necessarily, but I wanted to get this done so you guys know I mean business. I'm going to craft that pumpkin necklace medallion thing. There it is, pumpkin moon medallion, out of 30 pumpkins, 5 ectoplasm, and 10 hollowed bars. Items I have plenty of, all of. So that will allow me to start the next phase of the game, which is going to be the pumpkin moon. I'm going to put this in my chest for now because I don't really want to fight this stuff just yet. Today's plan is going to be a little bit different, which if I put this in the right chest, we could actually get to describing some of that. I guess that'll work. Well, oh, I forgot I also have a bone feather. I forgot what that dropped from, but it can be crafted into some other kind of wing, so I guess I can probably mess with that. The other thing I wanted to show you, and I know there's so many things here, I also started messing around with dyes a little bit, so I made some bright teal dyes, which are a combination of teal dye and silver dye. I made some flame dyes, which are orange, yellow, and red dyes, and then you combine them all together, and then I have just a few standard red dyes. These guys don't happen to show up very well when it comes to the spectral armor, but I can drop them on here just so you can see. It does slightly change my eye color and like the tips of the edges of my armor set there. You might be able to see the, what is this, the bright cyan or bright teal dye a little bit better. Yeah, not that much better, but it almost does look like I'm glowing a little bit, which kind of makes sense to be, you know, when I'm a specter. It would be nice if you could make the wings glow as well, but it doesn't quite work that way. But if I change this out to the chlorophyte armor, you'll see it actually shows up very, very well. Which I'm just going to go ahead and do. They should really address this one thing about this. When you're trying to put stuff on these mannequins, if you have your pickaxe equipped, it actually makes you like destroy the mannequin at the same time when you're placing it, unless that was a bug or something, but that seemed to be what happened to me. So now you can see the green is very much, well, still a little bit green, is mostly green, but sort of blue a little bit now too. If I change it to red though, you'll be able to see it much, much more clearly, and the flame is actually pretty sweet looking. It's flame dye, I should say, not just flame. But yeah, the red really does pick up well. I think certain armors work better with certain colors from what I was able to tell. So there is a nice deep red, and I didn't make a third one for the pants right now, but you can see the flame armor instead. It's got a nice little hue to it. It's a bit of a gradient, and there are tons and tons of different options. But to make a lot of these things, you're going to need to farm tons of equipment, or tons of dye, I should say, not tons of equipment. I could actually just stay with this set just the way it is right now, since I have my spectral armor set up anyway. But if you see these teal dyes, I think they took, what was it, I think it was just like one of these each for the, whatever the teal mushroom was. But then you had to combine each one of those with the silver one, and then that creates that, so that's times 3. And if you wanted to do the fire one, that's red, yellow, orange times 3. So you can see how you could very quickly run through a lot of these if you're trying to make a special one. And there were some dyes that actually required you to combine many layers of dyes to get down to the good stuff. And I did not necessarily have enough dyes to do all of that stuff. So maybe it's a thing I'll look into the future, but I just thought it was kind of fun that you could mess around with color schemes like that, and especially when it makes such a drastic difference to the way your character looks. Should also show you guys, this is where I'm at right now in terms of my ores. I've got a lot of everything, well, pretty much. Adamantite is still a little bit lacking, and my chlorophyte bars could use a little bit of a souping up, but my hallowed bars I'm maxed out, and I actually have a second repository down here. So basically what I'm doing is, if I fill up 2 rows of whatever this bar is, I take whatever's superfluous from it, and I'm either going to throw it in here or just sell it straight out. That way we don't have to really think about keeping all that stuff. So let's quick stack those, get most of these jewels out of the way, and then I go up here and I'm going to quick stack all of these as well. And apparently gold ore is full, which is when I would then go ahead and build all the gold that I can out of this. This is my process. I guess I'm just kind of showing you how this all goes for me. And then we've got one little bit left there. Toss these in here, and then we should be good to go. And we're just going to deal with that bone wing thing, and we'll see what that turns into. Crafting. I just want to see what I need to make it. Oh, just 20 souls of flight, and then that makes the bone wings. Very, very simple stuff. So let's go grab those 20 souls of flight, because I have plenty of extras. I was actually in a position where they were just dropping constantly, because I ended up fighting wyverns in just random places in my other alternate world. It was really not even a thing. They were just showing up, and I was killing them by accident as I was walking around. So, quite silly how things have changed. It's certainly not the same challenge it was. I should thank you also for all the tips on how to deal with the dungeon stuff. What on earth does he do when he flies? Oh, he's carried around by a little pterodactyl. Isn't that adorable? Well, now we've seen that guy. I want to put on my bone wings real quick and see what that looks like. That actually doesn't look bad with this set. It seems like they fly reasonably far. Do they have some sort of, like, webbing between them? I don't know. I don't even know what I was just saying a second ago, but what my point was going to be was that I wanted to thank everybody for describing how to deal with the dungeon, in that I needed to go to different areas inside of it, and then I was missing out on certain special drops. I totally just, like, distracted myself in the middle of talking by looking at the dinosaur or something. So we're just going to drop off the ghost wings then. You can see I moved most of my sets of stuff away, as that's going to all sit in different places now. And did I get any other cosmetic stuff? I think I showed you the tree trunks and the reindeer antlers and all of this stuff, the ugly sweaters. I found Eskimo pants as well as this mining shirt. I think I showed you this stuff too. I don't know if I showed you the Eskimo pants, but at least this. And I now have 3 rune sets. They just kept showing up, so I figured I'll just keep taking them since I have more chest room now. And what else was there to do? I think I was just going to go and explore and see if we can find find an ice skate, because I actually never managed to get one of those. And now that it's raining, I guess we'll probably run into some of the ice dude. I don't know that he'll necessarily have any new drops for me or anything, but still, could be interesting. And so basically the next thing that I need to do in terms of progression, other than farming for key fragments or key molds, is to just set up an arena and get ready for the pumpkin moon. I know it's going to be pretty difficult, so I should probably set up some heart lamps and such, as well as perhaps some traps if I want to really hedge my bets. And then I also just need to grind the dungeon more, which I don't know how often you guys want to see me do that. I might end up doing a few more episodes of it, just because there's, I guess, some other things that I should see while I'm there. But now I've just gotten kind of obsessed with finding this ice skate for whatever reason. Just sort of my little personal, quest for now, just to try and get all the accessories that I need that I haven't picked up yet. I should have shown you I also had that Master Ninja set that I crafted the other day. I just kind of forgot to show that off. So what we're going to do then is, I think we're just going to just dig straight down somewhere, I think like over here, because I have covered a little bit of this ground, but I haven't covered much. This is one biome that I've certainly not spent much time in. I think every time I've been here, well, it's just been really like 1 time, maybe 2 times, as I've had to come back. But I was very disappointed with all of the time that I spent in that other one, the one that I showed you on the last video. It didn't really go anywhere. I covered just about every inch. I kept pulling things apart. I kept breaking into new areas. And it seemed like the more time I spent there, the more I was just running into more straight crimson with no ice chests in it. So that's really all we're after. Just finding those ice chests. I guess this dino can't actually hang out with us because this tunnel is too small. Poor dino. How deep am I already? Not that deep yet. So this is a large world, as I'm sure you know already, so the chance for me to find a chest here, well, it's high. I'll probably find one, but things are spread out a lot more than they were in the other world, so even though it's probably here, it might take a lot longer to run into it. And I'm not sure when I'm going to run into a cave, if at all, so I might actually have to start going left and right soon, just to see if we can hit something like that. Is this... oh, okay, we still got a ways to go down. And I think a lot of it's gotten corrupted as well, so I haven't seen what an ice corruption biome looks like, although now I have seen the ice crimson biome. This is probably the largest amount of space that I've ever seen solid ground in this game. It usually is broken up by a cluster, the honeycomb of little mini caverns and such, and I guess we're getting down into the corruption area now. As you can tell, things are much more purpley over here. And it looks like we're just going to be filling up our inventory with snow blocks and junk again. I really don't need much in the way of ore anymore, so I think a lot of that stuff, if we run into it, I'm probably just going to either pass by or end up throwing out. I mean, if it's anything good, I won't throw it out, but I mean, if it's just tin or something equivalent to that, I don't really have much of a use for it at this point. I mean, now that I've even gone ahead and built a lot of the armor sets, I think the only other thing I could do if I really want to be, like, super crazy onto making every single item, I guess I could make all of the pickaxes and all of the hammers and all the bows and all of that stuff. But that's going to require a lot of ore, which I guess is kind of the point, right? But, you know, if I'm going to stick at it, I might as well stick to it and give it my best, and maybe we can actually build every single freaking item. Alright, what's in here? This is not it, but we did find ice torches, which is a thing that I haven't really seen before. Not that it's necessarily going to be useful or anything. And another blizzard in a bottle, which I'll be happy to sell. I don't really need any of this stuff. Any other chests, though? Oh, what is this dude? This is our crafty guy, right? It's the guide. It's a Picasso'd guide. Very interesting. What's going on under here? Anything at all? Well, it looks like more of the same. How about under here? Nope. Alright, the digging commences yet again. I guess I'll just dig to the left here and see if this leads to anything. Let's pop down some light. I didn't want this to turn into an all-day, you know, caving expedition again, but I just want this ice skate, man. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it, but it's like one of the last places I haven't really conquered, and I feel like I haven't gotten all of the stuff out of yet to hang out in the ice biome, so it feels like the place where I should be. Even though the real place I should be is just in the dungeon, doing more of the same. It gets a little monotonous. And you'd be surprised how long it took me to build all that stuff on my house. I actually spent a lot of a day running back and forth, trying to find wood from other places, as well as getting all of those ores and things. It sounds simple, just building all those armors, but I was missing a lot of components for it for whatever reason, so I'm glad I got that done, though. And I still do need to go back and probably farm the golem a bit more in the jungle. I know also that I can now pick up and move his little summoning pedestal there. I'm not sure if I want to do that, but it could make things a little quicker so I don't have to run all the way down there. And maybe I could move him to where the arena was and just fight him in that space, if that's actually how that works. I don't know if picking it up and moving it still allows me to, like, summon him. Maybe it's just for decoration or something, but I guess I can find that out. And then I also need to fight Plantera a few more times, both for keys and also just for more drops that I haven't seen yet, because I know I've only gotten, what was it, just like the grenade launcher from that thing, which really wasn't a big deal at all. Any chests down here? I like how you can't break the ice that the heart is sitting on top of. That kind of makes it a little funny to me. Any chests at all? Just toss these down here. Sometimes they like to hang out by themselves at the bottom of the world, or at the bottom of the ocean. Anything? Nope, looks pretty empty. That dinosaur keeps freaking me out the way it keeps flying around like that. It's really too bad that there isn't a cosmetic slot for your wings. I really think that would have been kind of neat. And also, you know, a dye slot too. Not that it's really necessary, but it feels like to make the most cohesive experience, having the most options is always nice. But you never know, there's possibly going to be, like, Terraria 2.3? 1.3, rather, not 2.3. Anything can still happen. The developers of Terraria are pretty freaking wild dudes. Like, the fact that they've supported the game for this long after it's already sold to the extent that it has. And I guess it's still selling, because it's been in the Steam sale a few times, and I think it's actually done fairly well, so good for them. They've made a really good quality game that lasts for freaking ever. And they've continued to support it, which is more than I can say about a lot of developers. And that totally sounded way more, like, cynical than I actually meant it to sound. Oh, we found another ice chest. Is this one? No! Another, well, it's a demonic ice boomerang. Evidently, this ice skate is pretty rare or something, because I haven't really seen much ice skate action. I haven't seen any ice skate action around here. I'm not sure why digging down is the best idea, but I guess I can make a little tunnel here. Complete with air pocket. I also really want to build that, the mermaid thing, too, because I think I almost have, or do have, all of the parts for it already. And all that's going to allow me to do is, I guess, breathe underwater infinitely by turning into some sort of merman or something. So that seems cool, but I think it's going to take up an accessory slot, so I'd have to keep it with me. But it would make situations like this a little less annoying, where I just don't have to worry about air at all. If I can still mine, that is. I don't know exactly what the circumstances are going to be. And there's also the wolf stuff that lets me turn into a wolf. I forget if it's like the sunstone or the moonstone or whatever it is, but, you know, there is that. And I do want to get all of those weird things that let me change into stuff. That does seem like fun to have the ability to, even if it's mostly just a novelty. I'm trying to think of what other big accessories there still are to find. I know there's a handful of them. But it seems like the majority of them are mostly just things that I need to combine with other things that I just haven't gotten one part of. Apparently there's something called like mana cuffs or something that I'm going to need, which as a character who now is sort of playing as a more MP-oriented character, I think that is definitely a thing that makes sense for me to have. I forget what it does, but whatever it does, I think I want it. This looks like a surprisingly populated area all of a sudden. Still getting presents. I guess that's probably going to wrap up in another few days here, because we are now... Oh, I've crossed back into my prior exploration zone. But we're now just about a day from January, so I have a feeling things probably end around then. Or at least they probably would make sense to. Be kind of cool if there was like a special New Year's event as well or something, but you can't really expect everything. Also got to watch out for some eclipses. I think there's still some things for me to find from those. Probably some of the gems that I was just talking about, the accessories rather. But as far as I know, there's no way to just trigger an eclipse. It just happens when it happens, and it's kind of up to random chance. There was somebody in the comments saying that I was very lucky to have gotten as many as I have already, and, you know, being 2 in so few days. I feel like it would make sense after you've cut through a certain point of the game for the eclipses to happen a little bit more readily, or maybe that you could build some kind of an object that could make them happen on command or something, like a consumable. What is in there? Is that... Oh, it's a sword statue. Yeah, I guess we'll just unleash water onto everything. Why not? That dinosaur is kind of adorable. Even though I wasn't planning on bringing him with me, I'm kind of glad he came anyway. Even if he doesn't fit in most of the areas that we seem to be hanging out in. Oh man, mining through snow. I've spent a lot of hours playing Terraria lately. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like I said on Twitter, I was like, man, I spent like 12 hours on this game. And it's still fun. This game is so addictive. It's like a very rare combination of gameplay that allows a game to be this addictive and this accessible at the same time. I mean, granted, a lot of it requires, you know, access to the wiki and stuff, or kind of you need to be able to have some way of figuring stuff out other than the information that's in the game, although there is more now than there ever was. But I think without the wiki, at some point you would get kind of, into a wall where you'd be a little bit confused or lost. And I've certainly spent a little while now looking around there, and at this point, I'm not really sure there's a whole lot that I really need suggestions on anymore, but I still do, of course, require or really enjoy having the input between you guys and me. So don't, like, stop commenting or anything. It's just, at this point, I feel like I probably know most of the things that you're going to tell me, especially with regard to progression and stuff. Maybe there's still some strategies and things, because I still haven't even fought the Pumpkin Moon or the Frost Moon yet. So there's probably some surprises ahead, but as far as, like, the day-to-day, like, how do I do X or Y, I probably have that under control by now. Oh, we found some more titanium. This is probably about the only ore I'm going to bother with. And a lot of the other stuff that's still yet to come, it's going to require me to just kind of sit in one place and farm. And that, well, if it's in the right circumstances, it can be entertaining enough, but you have to be in that mood. And the problem is I'm not always in that mood, or I have other stuff that I have to do that's a little bit more pressing. So I'm probably going to end up just picking a day and just sitting in the Crimson and just fighting stuff for a long time. Or setting up some traps. I guess I could also do that. And create some sort of a farm for those things. And just keep checking it, see if it drops anything useful. The chances are pretty low of me finding it, so it's going to take some time. Let's get rid of him. See, this is why I wanted the ice skate, so I could just not deal with the ice anymore. Is there anything under here? Let's toss one of these in. Really don't want to just throw me a bone, huh? Just toss me out that ice chest. Evidently not. Alright, where are we on the map again? I mean, it is kind of about time that I explore some of these regions, considering how long we've been on this map and how little of it I've actually seen. In comparison, that new materials world that I was showing you guys last time, I've already explored probably like 45 or 50% of the majority of underground areas, but, you know, it's a small world versus a large world, so drastically different sizes. And I'm beginning to get a little bit accustomed to the idea of just, like, spinning my pick in circles and having that just cut things apart. Somebody told me that the rocket launcher equipped with a certain type of rocket is basically like the equivalent of dynamite that you can fire, and is probably the fastest way of digging through blocks. I don't know if I've said this in a previous episode or not, but that's probably the thing that I'm going to be looking to get, provided that whatever that ballistic material is, or ammo, isn't extremely expensive, because I guess there is still a limiting factor in the amount of money that I can spend. Not that I'm really pressed for money or anything, I think I'm fine on that front, it's just I don't really want to run through it all yet. Because I'm sure when I get the best sword, I'm probably going to want to try and reforge that a few times. I think it's called the Terra Blade or something. I'm going to need a bunch of those Broken Hero swords or something. I still have to figure that all out. But that is a priority, of course. If I'm going to get a melee weapon, I probably want to get the best one. Not that I'm necessarily all about the melee anymore, but I would like to have a little bit of all the good stuff. Alright, so there is another frost chest. And we've got a snowball cannon. Well, it's something new. Not what I was hoping to find, but it's something new. And nothing else down here. There's a turtle, though, which I'd be pretty happy to hit with this possessed hatchet. And that apparently the paladin that hangs out in the dungeon is the dude that I want to have drop his weapon, because apparently that sword or hammer or whatever he uses, the hammer I'm pretty sure, is very, very effective and works pretty similarly to the possessed hatchet, which I really like. Its only downfall is that it only hits things about once each time you throw it, which is, it's not the end of the world, I've been making it work, but if it could hit things more than that, then that's terrific, and that's apparently exactly what that hammer does. So, I mean, not like I wasn't going to get it, but I kind of want to get that sooner rather than later. Oh, look, it's the giant hammer that I was just talking about, exactly, well, not exactly the giant hammer, but a giant hammer. And I will take these Souls of Night, because these are not a thing that I seem to farm up on a regular basis. It seems like wherever I go, I always end up in a place where I'm not actually getting those souls. And that's just lame, because I need them for a lot of things. Oh, this guy's freezing me. Yeah, this can be a little annoying. I thought, again, that Cobalt Shield deal would protect me from just about every status effect, but it seems like I keep finding ones that aren't on it. The one that was like Darkness, that was kind of annoying, and now I've got the Frozen status. So I just got to keep that stuff in mind, that there are still some things that can be a pain in the butt. And provided... oh god, I'm about to die. I'm just going to say, provided I remember and I see what I'm doing in time, I guess it won't really be that big of a deal, but I do have to keep it in mind that there are still some things to watch out for. So I guess we want to head up here. As I see there's a little bit of wood, which I see a chest, but it's a golden chest, which I'm pretty sure that's not going to work. Also, these worms are getting a little bit more aggressive. Alright, 2 gold. Not bad. Hunter potions, well I've got... oh, that's not the... I always confuse the archery and the hunter potions. They're similar. Similar looking, but the one's a little bit more squared and the other one's a little bit more rounded. I've got enough boomerangs, I think, for now. Just finished... oh god, I didn't think it was that strong! I'm so used to the worms just sliding around and just getting killed by your pickaxe. Apparently that one is a little too strong for me. So I was eviscerated. That means I have to go back in to the ice world and go rescue my body and all that. So I'll do that off camera because I know where I am. I should have also been using my deadly magnet sphere. That's why I brought it with me. But I'm scum. So I guess I'll just run these slush blocks through the machine and see if I get anything else exciting from there. It's fun when you get like 500 of them and you just sit and sort of like scratch off lotto tickets or something. Oh, I did that wrong. I keep forgetting I need to put it up in my bar. Then scroll to it. Again, my game pauses. I have it set that way. Oh, I thought I just got a gold coin. It was just gold ore. Oh, a solar eclipse is happening. So I guess there's that. The thing I was just talking about. So I guess I'll assume the position, go stand up against the wall, and we'll see if we get any drops. I was just going to wrap up the episode, but provided this only takes like, I think it's about 5 or 10 minutes tops, should be able to just hang on. So really the only thing I'm worried about is these Reapers, because they go through walls. Provided I can get up and out of the way in time, though. Really not even that much of a threat. I'll just heal up. I should have just talked to the nurse, but I just didn't. Again, want that Reaper Scythe pretty badly, so if those dudes show up and want to give me that, that would be terrific. I guess I could use the Magnet Sphere here as well, because that does go... oh, no, it doesn't go through walls. I thought it did for a second, then I remembered no. But yeah, that's apparently very useful with the Spectre armor, because I get heals for each time that that thing hits something. And it hits pretty rapidly, so, you know, provided there's a pile of enemies around, which there most likely will be most of the time, that's going to be really easy health for me, and it should keep me alive when I'm hanging out in the dungeon. So I'm going to try and make sure I keep using that. I think I was just kind of using it wrong before and then thought it was not quite as good as it actually is, but, you know, I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again. Happens all the time. Let's put a torch down. Oh, we got a lot of Grim Reapers here. Just gotta watch those edges again. Once it hits an edge, it disappears. So far, so good. Seems like a particularly calm eclipse. I should probably go get my blue candle, because I think I should be able to handle a lot more. Did I keep that in my piggy bank? I can't remember if I actually put it back. I think I just left it in here for this exact reason. Yes, I did. Alright, shut your doors. Climbing in your windows. They're snatching your people up. Swamp monsters, man. They're the worst. Alright, so I should have a little spot to put this candle as long as I left that ledge there, which I did. And this should hopefully get us a lot more enemies. That's the goal right now. Hopefully you guys can see okay. I should put more candles up. Alright, let's get this going. Let's get this party started, and let's get some drops. Again, other than the scythe, I'm not really sure what else it is that I'm looking for, but I'm pretty confident there's at least one other thing that I'm interested in finding off an eclipse. Probably those broken hero swords, right? That's where these come from. I feel like I remember that eclipses were an important thing to my progression in one way or another. I think I was even just saying that earlier. Man, my memory sucks. Also doesn't help when you're in that weird place between, like, sleepy time and coffee. You know what I mean, right? When the coffee wears off and you're kind of tired, but you haven't committed yourself to being tired yet, so you're just kind of trying to fight through it a little bit. It's a weird time. But that's where I'm at right now. So my mind is running in a million different directions, and none of them are really sensible or reasonable, I think. Yeah, I'm enjoying this magnet sphere. I feel like this is doing some good work right now. Look at it go. 507 copper coins. Haven't seen any drops yet. Oh, we've got an eye laser dude. Pretty sure I needed one of those at some point. For something, anyway. And I will make at least some okay money, I think, from this encounter every time. I feel like it was at least 20 or 30 gold, if not more than that. It might have been closer to 50. You see, I just picked up 41 silver from that one little pile there, so it doesn't seem to take very much. I'm surprised that actually just this magnet sphere is enough to take out this many enemies. I didn't think it was that strong. I also figured while I was throwing the thing that I would be somewhat vulnerable. It would also be kind of cool if this thing stacked like the light disc and I could have like 5 of them out at the same time. That would be so OP. So I mean, right now my health is pretty much locked at full, and I don't think my MP has really gone down either, so all in all, it's a pretty nice setup, and I'm definitely going to be investigating how this handles the dungeon. I also had people suggest that I like try clinging to the ceiling, or what was it, make a death box or something. So people had names for things that I'm going to have to look into. I think it just consisted of like making a box and then poking stuff with spears. But, you know, as sensible and reasonable as that sounds, also when you start getting attacked by wizards and stuff through the walls, not really sure how you're supposed to deal with that. Also, why have I been staying so far away from the blue candle this whole time? I think I've been missing out on the debuff, which was the whole point in me putting it here in the first place. See, I wanted this to happen. I wanted this bedlam. Because otherwise, I have no chance. Alright, on the upside, though, we're not even quite halfway through the eclipse yet. So there is still a pretty good chance of us finding something. Come on now, guys. I'm trying to decide. I kind of want to just do the pumpkin moon next time, but at the same time, it's like, I also want to have super OP gear. And I guess I have a lot of it, but I feel like there's some weapon that I'm missing that I really want, and I just don't know what it is yet. Maybe getting some of those key molds would make me feel better, or farming Plantera for a while, because there could be something from that. And of course, getting, like, the best sword wouldn't be a bad idea anyway. And I think that's just going to come from doing exactly what we're doing right now, and I'm wandering away from the blue candle again. Gotta stop doing that. Let's just stand right here. I don't even know where my magnet sphere went. It was just going off the screen. I'm sure this thing doesn't travel indefinitely, but it certainly seemed to be going quite far. Yeah, I'm certainly getting the picture. This is kind of the optimal setup, isn't it? Maybe this is what I just need to use to fight bosses and things. Can you switch to another weapon while this is traveling in the air and continue to fire stuff? Yeah, you can, can't you? Yep. Alright, that's a pretty neat thing to know as well. So if I was trying to use this on, I don't know, Skeletron Prime, for example, or the twins or something, I could actually just have this be doing sort of like dot damage, as well as shoot at them at the same time, so that you get that, and then you could combine it maybe with the Thunder Staff thing. What was it called? The Angry Nimbus Staff or something. And then take the poison damage, potentially, from that other Celestial Poison Staff. Then there's, like, a debuff from the Frost Armor. I don't know. There's, like, a lot of options, I guess, to do stackable damage. Oh, and, of course, the defense down from the Furious Golden Shower, of course. I still really enjoy using this. It's just kind of fun to fire around. Have I gotten a single item yet? I don't think I have. Should probably check my inventory in a while, because sometimes I just forget and things show up. No, it looks pretty much the same as it was before. Hoping I get something. You know, there's no guarantees. Oh! Wow, there it is, Death Sickle. And when I said it like that, it sounded like a popsicle, and that's silly. I'm definitely going to try that out in just a second here. Alright, that was a big deal for me. I really wanted that thing, actually. I also noticed that I can make the Rainbow Rod, which is kind of a funny item that I think I probably want to mess around with, too. It doesn't require all that much stuff. I think it was just some hallowed bars and one of the souls that I have a bunch of, I think. So I might want to try that out at some point, just, you know, mostly because it's ridiculous looking. It just fires a rainbow that you can bend around and kill stuff with. So I'm kind of into that. Let's go up here and let's get our sickle into things for a second. Cool looking weapon, too. Oh, yeah. Alright, I like that. So it just sits over top of the enemy, I guess, and does a bunch of damage as that blade thing rotates. Is it using much MP? Is it using any MP? It's not using any MP. What is this? Oh, it's just melee damage. Wow, that's a pretty cool weapon, then. I had no idea. Still, I think the Magnet Sphere is still probably better. Especially because I get heals from it, but, you know, cool either way. Definitely a special weapon, not something that you would see until, you know, late to end game, so... I do like finding things that are a little bit novelty like that. Especially when they're badass looking. That helps a lot. Alright, we're like 65% through this now, I'm thinking, and I can't seem to stay over by this candle. I don't know what my problem is. Let's just stand right here. Let's also check down here, because there's probably a bunch of enemies. No, there's not. Alright, we're good. Let them show back up. We'll get them up top, and then we'll just Magnet Sphere everything down. I really had almost no danger at all right now. It's just kind of waiting. Which is kind of a good place to be, I suppose. It means that we've finally made the right decisions about our character, and things are actually coming together. What do I still want? I mean, I don't know who drops those swords, if I'm even talking about... Oh, we got another broken Batwing. It's like the third or fourth one I've found of those. Apparently not the most uncommon drop. I guess I could give them to all my friends, and we could all have broken Batwings. It almost looks like when I make these Magnet Spheres, the old one stays active for like a split second. I was trying to see if it actually would hit things as the new one shows up, but I think it might just be one at a time. Yeah, okay. I think as soon as the new one enters the field, then the old one just dissipates. But it does have, like, an after image for a few moments. I was misled. Alright, I don't know if we're necessarily going to get any other things today. But at least we found that one really cool thing, and we did it on camera, and I always enjoy when that happens. You know, there's still a lot more items to get and find and make. So, it's not like we've run out of content by any means. There's still plenty of things I could do, and in fact, if I really wanted to, I could just do each episode, start a new world, and just see how much progress I could make through that world in 20, 30 minutes. It's actually pretty much doable. As you saw in that other episode, I actually managed to kill Wall of Flesh and everything. We could do speed runs through Terraria. Could be my own challenge missions, I don't know. And the stronger I get, obviously, the faster the things will go down. I imagine having this item fighting the Wall of Flesh is probably, like, kind of silly. I mean, it already is. But something I don't even have to really aim. It just sort of is around as a turret, just taking out everything. Pretty cool. These swamp monsters are garbage. They don't ever drop anything cool. Also, what was the, I forgot the armor that starts with a P, that's like the alternate for Cobalt. That one looked pretty cool. It looked like a nice upgrade to, like, the lava armor. And that one was one that I could see myself messing around with in the social slot as, like, a main look. But, you know, I'm also enjoying the Spectre armor quite a bit as well. And I'm also enjoying the effect of it. And I'm seeing what you mean about it being quite as OP as it is. It is pretty powerful. The only problem is when you get totally surrounded and you don't have a way out. I mean, if you don't have enough heals, well, I guess the point is that you do have enough heals, and most of the time you should be able to regen through whatever is hitting you, but there are situations where you can get overwhelmed, and you don't have particularly good defense in this position, so you gotta watch out for that. And also make sure you don't run out of MP either, because basically running out of MP means you're not getting heals anymore. So unless you have whatever the thing in a bottle, the nature's present in a bottle, and then that makes you auto-use MP potions and makes your MP use less. You know, that's a good thing to set up. I should probably do that. I just haven't gotten around to it. But unless you're doing that, you know, you're going to have to be kind of careful with your mana consumption. At least when you're using a weapon like this Furious Golden Shower, which I was running through all of my MP fairly quickly with this thing. And I know I've left the range again, but I think our eclipse is just about to end in a few moments. You'd think that would be more of a reason to hang out by it, though. Considering I'm running out of time. Yeah, those guys must have something special that I haven't gotten, because they have way more HP than the other ones. Alright, we're back in Blue Candle territory. I guess I could just stand up here, right, and just keep firing these suckers down? Man, that would be boring, huh? Just stand in this exact spot. Never have to fight a thing. Just keep throwing out another orb after another orb. Oh, there's one. Found a broken hero sword, guys. Found one. I think I need like 3, though, but still. Glad I have one. One's better than none. I'll check that out in the crafter before we go. I was gonna go like 15 minutes ago, but I figured, well, just let it go, let it roll. Have a good time. Also, I'm going to search over the landscape real quick just to make sure that nothing dropped off screen that I didn't notice. Do want to be kind of careful about that, because you could potentially miss a really good item. And with my luck, I don't know. My luck's actually been pretty good. I was going to say there's a chance it dropped and I just didn't see it, but, you know, that would be a case of bad luck, and doesn't seem to be the prevailing theme that I can tell anyway. Alright, looks like it's now daylight again. Finish off the last of these swamp things. Alright, they've all grown their last groan. And let's just do a quick run over to the left to make sure we've gotten all of our jewels and gems and monies and whatevers. Copper coins. I think there's still something I need to get from the pirates as well, right? There's like that coin gun, I think, was one of them. Alright, let's just drop, I don't know, whatever, tin ore. Anything over here? No, it looks pretty much empty. There's single silver coin or 11. Alright, I guess we'll just go back then and see how much we still need to craft. And that will do it for today. I just want to go see what the final prognosis is. If there's anything, maybe there's something else I can make with just one of them. I don't necessarily think so, though. Oh, True Excalibur, well that really wouldn't help me out a whole lot. And True Knight's Edge, so I could actually take the Knight's Edge or the Excalibur up a level, but I want the Terrablade. Oh, I get it. Okay, so I've got to make all of these then, and then they all combine together into that. Alright, well that makes perfect sense. 81 melee damage, so that doesn't seem all that strong compared to what I'm doing in magic damage, so maybe that's the reason that so many people decide to go with magic. Anyway, I guess I'll go farm my mushrooms, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for hanging out. As always, please do continue to leave your support on the series. Like I said, I do still value any suggestions you have for future episodes, even if I kind of mostly get the idea of what we should still be looking forward to in future ones. But, you know, probably doing Pumpkin Moon pretty soon, unless there's any major disruptions or, you know, I decide we need to farm some more for something. I'll go consult the wiki, and then we'll see what happens for the next episode. So thank you, as always, for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a lovely night, guys.